It is Thursday, April 9th, 2015. Welcome, everyone, to episode 31 of the OG Cast, your clan podcast for the original Guardians. My name is Mike. You can find me on Xbox Live. I am mikerocksmore. We got a great show ahead of us here, but first, let's get to the panel. And first off, let's meet Nick. How's it going this week?
Doing good, Mike. Thanks for introducing me. My gamer tag's NastyDestoyer. I don't have the little cool thing like they do. So.
Few clicks away, man.
I just forgot about it.
All right, well, let's move on. Let's meet Keith. How's it going this week?
Not too bad. Just kicked off a clan wars in Destiny today, so been closely monitoring that. Things are going well.
We'll touch on that a little later on here.
Sure.
Next up, let's say hi to Franz. How's it going this week?
Good, man. Good. No complaints.
That's good. That's good. And last but certainly not least, we've got Cynic. How's it going this week?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Between work and getting stuck in this Neverwinter release on the Xbox One, I've been tied up.
You've been playing Neverwinter too?
Yeah, I have. Very heavily, actually.
What level are you?
40-ish, but I had a character at 20-something that it stopped giving me quests for some reason, so I just started a new one.
We could probably get a good little following in that. Actually.
Honestly, a lot of people from the Call of Duty clan that I never expected to play an MMO are more into it than I am, and that's what's keeping me in it.
Nice.
I'm only level 16 right now on my cleric.
I didn't play it on the PC, but one of my friends did, so he's been talking me through some of the finer details. We put together a little BS guild just to test out the guild bank and the auction house and things like that. It's been fun. I'm surprised. I didn't think it would translate so well to a console.
Nice.
Wait, you can make guilds in that?
Oh yeah, the guild. There's a guild bank. We've been putting extra gear in there. When people leave it there too long, I've been taking it out, putting it on the auction house, getting
smell
the
original
currency.
Guardians guild in the future.
Yeah, I wanted to test it and play with it before we started talking about it seriously, but it's been a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
Cool. Yeah, no, I dabbled in MMOs for the last decade, so.
Yeah, I didn't think it would translate so easily to the console, but aside from typing in the actual game chat and all the different lobbies being a pain in the butt without the smart glass, it translates really, really well. It's fun to play.
You have to type in the chat? Oof.
You don't have to, but that's the best way to reach out to the whole zone or send full guild messages or things like that. There's still voice chat compatibility within the party and the party chat.
You do smart glass though to send messages.
Yeah, you can do
now,
smart glass.
I've been living off the smart glass. It's the only way, especially for more detailed.
I wish that they would have, like, you know how some games have like a companion app within smart glass. They need to do that with Neverwinter, but it's just a chat, so you don't have to like focus on the chat box. It's just the entire chat lives just on smart glass. That would be awesome. Yes. That would be killer.
But you guys recommend it? Good game?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's. There aren't a whole bunch of MMOs on consoles, and it plays really well with a controller. So if you, I don't know, if you don't have a whole lot of experience with it, it's really overwhelming at first if you don't know what is going on. But it's a pretty good MMO, and it's free to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, you can grind straight through max level and do all kinds of regular stuff. But you can still enjoy it very, very much without paying for the few things they ask for. There's a couple things that are a pain in the butt, like the size of your bag and having to buy other bags or grind really, really hard for certain currencies to get them or things like that. But all in all, they don't short you too much for not spending money.
Yeah, it's something I plan on playing casually for a while. I mean, at least until Legends comes out. Fable Legends, yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't wait till Fable Legends.
That's going to be really good. I probably won't play Neverwinter after that comes out. I think that's more tailored to like short sessions.
Did you get in? Did you get into the beta for?
No, I heard that they sent out codes, but I did not get one. I was bummed.
Yeah, me too.
I just saw I finally got into the Smite alpha.
Oh yeah, I
nice.
was playing a little bit of that yesterday. That's really fun too. I mean, it's a MOBA, and really there aren't any MOBAs on consoles, but that also translates really well to a controller.
I've been watching one of my friends play some of his clips and things on the one, and it looks like it's really, really clean, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like an MMO. Like the first time you jump into the genre, it's confusing as hell. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. But after you really start understanding what's going on, it's really fun, and it becomes really strategic.
Yeah, I mean, I've dabbled with it on the PC, but I didn't get too into it just because it was on the PC instead of console. So I'm looking forward to trying it out. Literally 5 minutes before this cast start, I got a message saying I had a code. So
Nice.
after this, I'll.
You actually get 2 codes. You can give it to somebody else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nudge, nudge, hint,
At
hint.
least in my email, I got 2 codes and it said give one to a friend. So
Oh.
yours probably says that too.
It only gives me 1 code, but maybe somebody else can use it too. I don't know.
Oh, it only gave you 1?
Yeah.
Well, that's a bummer.
Oh, well.
He's special.
I've dabbled in the MOBAs a bit, and for my competitive fix and still having a little bit of that MMORPG style to it, it's actually a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to Smite coming across.
Definitely. Cool. So,
Yeah, well, let's dive in here, and I wanted to start off with a topic we haven't really talked about in a long time. Got to go all the way back to episode 1. Last time we talked about hardware accessories, and this is something that's kind of been on my mind for a little while now. I want to get your guys' opinion on this. Specialty controllers, like your scuffs, for example, ones with little paddles on the back of the controller. This is something that's kind of been in my head for a while. Do they give players an unfair advantage, those who have them, against those who are constantly having to take their thumb off a stick to reload, so on and so forth? So what are your guys' thoughts on those sort of things?
Well, if they didn't give them an unfair advantage, they wouldn't create them.
right, and charge you $300 to buy one. I mean, there's the proof right there. I mean, that's my only argument is they're going to charge you $300 when the original manufacturer is not going to make a controller like that and sell it for $300.
I think consoles are intended to be a very standardized environment where everybody's playing on the same level, same playing field, and with PCs that's really not the case. So it's
not at all.
Everybody's running different hardware and controllers and everything. But when it comes to consoles, then yeah, I do. I consider things like those modded controllers. I consider that cheating.
Aren't they outlawed in like the esports community, for like the Call of Duty tournaments and whatnot?
Oh yeah, you can't bring that to tournaments. You can't even bring like for PCs. You can't have like special mouses. You have to have like just standard 3-button mouse. You can't have one with a bunch of buttons that support macros or anything like that. So
even in PC on like the MOBA scene, you can't have buttons?
No, you can't have anything that can support macros. Even if it's not using a macro, like if the mouse can support it, it's not permitted.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That part I agree with. I don't like the extra buttons, like the paddles on the back of the scuffs and things like that. But coming from a little bit of the fighting game community and things like that, there are slight tweaks to... I mean, everybody has an arcade stick that they have touched and played with a little bit. It doesn't come right out of the box. But if it doesn't add any extra buttons, there are little things like the shape of the gate inside where the stick moves, the actual tension in the spring in the arcade stick itself, the type of buttons, things that don't actually affect adding buttons and adding advantage, but more tweak it to your own particular play style. I don't mind things like that, but you start adding paddles and extra buttons in places where they don't exist for most people, and now you're into the realms of getting a little bit of an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have to agree. That's kind of always been my thoughts. Standard controller, you have to move your thumb, but with these others you don't. And
you gotta move your pinky.
For a typical shooter,
I have not mastered the claw that some of these guys have.
Oh yeah, the claw. I don't know. I can't see like a typical shooter being that beneficial.
Yeah, it is. I mean, wouldn't you rather hit your pinky button in the same fluid moment that you're, shooting down on the right trigger, and that'll drop you into a prone position? So that's what they call drop shot. I mean, it gives you a distinct advantage in Call of Duty. Drop shots are like, one of the most notorious ways to get kills and not die.
Yeah, but you can do that by just holding down whatever R3.
Yeah,
Down in the stick. I don't see how that's any different than hitting a button. That's more of a preference, though.
It's a little different because when you're using your thumb to press down on that stick, I don't know. It's hard to get the trigger to go at the same time. I mean, people can do it. It's true, but it makes it a lot easier when the thing is that accessible, and it's literally you can hold your pinky on the back of the controller. I mean, that's how it is.
Yeah, it's a paddle on the back, so you really it makes things that used to be dead to you, and now it makes them actual live fingers with live buttons that do things.
Exactly.
So like
I'd rather have that back for my melee, because I'm used to what you say, Franz, right? R3 and you go prone, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gives you a distinct advantage, but it's not overly, unrealistic to say that a guy with a scuff is still going to get beat by a guy with a regular controller, because, I mean...
Talent is talent is talent.
Exactly, it takes skill to do that. So.
But to take away some of the mechanics that are tricky in a game, then, I mean, they're designed to be tricky. These guys are picking up controllers before they actually put the final product out. So things that are meant to be very hard to do and be rewarded for how hard it is to do, now you can just, like, flick your ring finger, which normally never did anything, and now you're doing it. Like adding a cheat button a little bit.
That's a big one.
Yeah, exactly. Something that used to take... I mean, when you push down on the stick, it doesn't seem like a lot, but think of the mechanics of your hand. You're changing where the pressure is, you're changing the pivot point, now you're taking away from where you'd have your trigger finger right there on the trigger where you normally like it and locked in and ready to squeeze. It changes things a lot. If you were to change like how tight the stick was in the controller or how hard the buttons were to push, I mean, things like that, to me, don't make a huge difference. That's what translates back into fighting games. But to actually like add a button on the back where your dead fingers now become one of the most vital things on your controller, that's a bit much.
One thing with scuffs too is you can actually set the triggers and buttons to go in a certain.
You can custom button map them to whatever you want.
Yeah, but also so your trigger, for example, you can set it so it fires just on a hairpin sort of thing, like the slightest.
I'm okay with that. That I'm okay with.
Okay, yeah. Well, calling kettle black. Why? Because how can you be okay with that and just having an issue with different buttons?
The difference between
you're still changing the way the controller behaves compared to a standard one.
The difference between that and adding a button where a button never existed is that you can do that physically with your hand right now. You just teach yourself to squeeze lighter. When you're dealing with a fighting game, how far out you bring the stick from center doesn't affect anything. As soon as you hit the actuator, that's what affects it. So by making it bigger, smaller, changing the gait or the spring strength or anything like that is just a matter of giving yourself a crutch, whereas you could teach yourself to just barely hit the actuator and stay in center, which makes a smaller circle, which makes a quicker transition.
It's similar to, yeah.
You can teach yourself to just squeeze the trigger lighter. That's something you could do by yourself through training, but teaching yourself to tap your pinky on the back of the controller where there's no button and have it do something, that's magic.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I see that. I mean, I guess the other, it's like changing the sensitivity on
exactly.
the shooter.
But doing it with the hardware rather than the software. Yeah. That part I'm okay with. Just I can't tap my standard Xbox controller and make something happen on the back. It doesn't happen.
Speaking of mapping, why don't they just have a blank mapping sheet and you can map any button you want or any movement or key to any button you want like you can in any PC game?
Well, the problem, I mean, cause they're doing that on the PS4. They're adding that.
They just did actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
just
but
recently.
The problem is like that's system-wide. That's not game-specific. So I don't really see it being really utilized because I mean, who would want to do that? But
it could create some interesting moments.
I mean, I think that one problem it's going to cause, like when you're playing a game and it says press X to pick up something, or like it gives you that tip it's going to tell you the default. It's not going to tell you whatever it's mapped to. So it's going to say press X, but it's really press the right bumper or R2 or whatever they call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you're taking the time to remap your controller, you're going to know that. You're going to know that X is...
But for a new game that you just pick up, like it's going to be, you know what I mean?
But like X's always pick up something or use something, so you know that whatever you mapped X normally to is going to pick something up.
Depends on how smart you are with it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people are going to be using it. I'm just saying, like, that I can see where it's going to cause confusion and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if you have, like, your friend comes over and they want to start playing, then they're really screwed.
I mean, you had those issues when people, like old school Halo, when you passed your controller to a buddy.
Oh, sure.
You had some weird control scheme, like Legacy Southpaw or something silly like that.
Inverted controls.
Oh yeah.
I had a buddy that he was the only one that did it. And, you know, you knew when you had his character. So.
Yeah, there's always one. But, I mean, I would like to be able to put bumper jumper, say, on any game. Like, I playing Borderlands now, I miss not having a bumper jumper.
Yeah.
A.
I mean, I think it'd be great to be able to map it at a game-specific level. Like, I would not want to do it just at a universal level.
Yeah. You always have to go then.
Yeah, system-wide, it's rather useless, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could see that. You'd have to have like a quick way, okay, go back to default and then play the game for a little while and then find the control scheme you like and change it after.
That makes sense.
And have like presets for each game.
Yeah, I mean, that'd
be really cool.
It would just be tedious.
It would totally be tedious. Unless you could save, you know, obviously with the presets, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they support profiles or anything, but
yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, you got to think it's coming to the Xbox eventually. Like for button.
Maybe. I mean, they never did it for the 360, so I don't know if there's enough demand for it.
Well, you think now that PlayStation's done it, you have to think that they are at least got to be thinking about it. But
maybe we'll see how many people use it on PlayStation. See if it's worth their time.
It's one of the first things I check when I pick up a new game. A, to understand the mechanics a little better, and B, so I can customize it to what my natural muscle memory is for certain things.
Yeah.
Especially since there's no game manuals anymore. You got to go into the control scheme and see what the hell is what.
I used to love the game manual. Get a game, I'd still be out shopping with my mom and sit there reading the manual while I'm going from place to place. It used to be part of the experience.
Yeah, now it's just a piece of paper.
If even that, now you get your digital and you got to log online to a help menu, which is not even helpful.
That's why we have these long like preview levels where you go and say, "Hey, A is jump."
I don't think you're smart enough to read this. Come play a game with me.
all right. Well, let's move forward here, and let's talk about E3 real quick because we are about 10 weeks away right now, a couple months.
Yeah, I think it's coming up.
Yeah. So you had the kind of great idea here, and something that we're going to be carrying over the next few weeks here, and let's go around the table here and. Let's call out some predictions for what we think is going to be happening in E3 this year.
Is somebody documenting them so we can keep score? What's coming through?
Yeah, we can.
Well, it's documented on YouTube, right?
Well, after E3, you're going to listen to all of the podcasts.
Let's mark the time down.
Well, anyone care to hazard a prediction right off the bat here?
Who? Who are you talking to?
Yeah, anyone. Yeah, anyone. Anyone want to go first?
All right, I'll go. Well, I think
my headset died.
Fallout is definitely getting announced and going to be dropped this year.
What, like Fallout 4?
Yeah, Fallout 4. announced with a release date and
Yeah,
and playable footage.
Oh, wait. So and gameplay footage.
Yep. They're going to do a full demo, and then they're going to say, here's our game, get excited, and you can play it in the fall.
Do you think it's actually going to be coming out this year?
Yeah. I mean, they did the same thing for Skyrim. It was like announced it at E3 and then said, you're going to play it in a couple months.
So I think that Fallout, I don't know, because it seems like they have an entire press conference, don't they? A Bethesda press conference?
And they've never had a press conference before.
Yeah, I think something big is going to happen, but I don't know if it's just one game. I imagine that they're going to have a whole slew of things.
Oh, yeah, they are. Probably maybe like what is it? What's that shooter that did better than expected? Wolfenstein. They might have like maybe not Wolfenstein 2, but
Did they do Wolfenstein?
Yeah.
No.
I think they did. I thought that. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Seems familiar.
but I think their big game is going to be Fallout.
Yeah,
Sure.
I can see that. I think that's a pretty good prediction.
It was Skyrim was 5 years ago, maybe. It's about time.
Yeah. They definitely like to take their time with their games, but they do a really good job. They don't rush them, that's for sure.
They don't rush them and they don't build hype, so
Yeah.
I don't see it too far out of left field that they'll release it this year too.
All right.
Cool.
Do you think we'll get anything for Mass Effect 4?
I think they've got to do something. Well, that's EA, so that's different.
Yeah.
Oh no, not the brand itself. I mean at E3. Do you think they'll bring something up for Mass Effect 4?
Didn't they already do a teaser?
They
Yeah,
do.
there's some teasers, yeah.
Yeah.
A bad teaser.
Yeah. Something's
don't-
happening.
Maybe like a
There's
CGI
fully
video.
reveal. There's been no full reveal. There's been no actual like pimping of it. It would be the opening of the gate, so to speak.
So
There's
is that
been concept
is that-
art so far.
Is that your prediction?
your prediction?
Not
there,
my particular prediction. I just know we have a lot of fans in the room. And I was curious
Yeah.
after I saw the teaser what everybody thought.
Yeah, I'm expecting there to be a Mass Effect collection. I think there would be enough people that would buy that they'll make a Mass Effect collection,
Yeah, I'd be one of those people.
and they would and they would announce that.
Is that your prediction?
I mean, I'll take it if I need one though, because I really.
My official prediction here is that we're going to see HoloLens interacting with the Xbox in some fashion.
I see it.
So-
Especially since everybody else has been putting out their VR systems, they're going to need something.
Yeah, I mean, I think VR is going to be big this time because I mean, on the PC side of things, Oculus has been around for a while, and Steam just partnered up with a company, and Morpheus has been kind of out there for a while. So I think this E3 is the big VR E3, and while HoloLens isn't VR, I think that it's close enough, and it really answers that kind of response. And being a standalone product, I think it stands a better chance of catching on.
That would be pretty cool.
You really think, though? Because, usually Microsoft has been pretty keen on keeping E3 games only.
Yeah, but I don't know. Well, I mean, that was just this last year. So before that wasn't really the case.
Okay, true.
So and I think a lot of that was to gain back the gaming community's trust and respect when it comes to being a console for games. And I think that the HoloLens is still about games. I mean, it's still gaming related. I don't think that they're going to have anything on E3 for TV or media integration or anything like that. So I mean, I think talking about HoloLens at E3 is still very game related.
Yeah, I think maybe like a HoloLens Minecraft mashup. I think that would be.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that they already did that. I think they're going to do something that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Well, Minecraft's definitely a good place to start.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's obviously going to be one of the big applications, but I think that they could do a lot of things integrating with the Xbox. So I think that will be interesting in itself to see. I would like to see part of that as the demonstration. But who knows if they will or not? Yeah.
I certainly hope they do. You're making it sound awesome.
Have
Well,
you watched
technology's
that? Have
definitely
you
very
watched
cool.
that HoloLens video?
Yep, I've seen it, but honestly, until I seen it, I put it in the back of my head because they like to pimp all sorts of stuff at us all the time. And now that you're bringing it back up, I was thinking about sitting on my couch doing that, and that would be nice.
I mean, one thing that I would see it being so great with is, like, say you're playing Halo or something, and all of the HUD elements, like your ammo count and radar and stuff, that's not on the TV, it's on your HoloLens, so it would look like you're looking through a Spartan helmet.
Sold.
So, I mean, I think that, like, that's an amazing integration, or even like how there are grenade indicators. So if somebody throws a grenade at you and it's slightly off the screen, it could still be showing on this extended screen kind of experience with the HoloLens. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of integrations that they could do to make it really impactful and more immersive.
Like put your peripherals into the game.
Yeah, I mean, they could do a good amount.
And that would just be like cracking the ice a tiny little bit too.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of different things that they could do with it. So.
And listen how happy we are with it. It's awesome. I can't wait.
So hopefully we'll see more about it at E3. I'd be surprised if we didn't.
Get maybe a price, maybe, or is that still
I
probably too early
don't
on?
think that's going to be at E3.
It's gonna cost the same as the console.
I'd expect it to be around a smartphone range.
Fair enough. Yeah.
A smartphone with a plan.
No, like a smartphone.
So
Like
the
an unlocked
seven,
smartphone.
The same as a console. Yeah, I imagine like $400 or $500.
That's what I was thinking.
Because they're going to make their money from selling stuff
sounds
like
cool.
in their
I don't know
store.
how mainstream it's going to be. Even with the VR, I don't know how mainstream that's going to get.
Yeah, I don't think VR is going to go mainstream at all. I don't think it has because at the end of the day, it's still an accessory that you buy for your console. And when you release an accessory, especially one that's super expensive like a VR headset, it's always going to be a niche market. Like it's never something that's going to just explode.
But I hear somebody in the back of my head saying that about consoles, and then they rebranded the Xbox One to be this media center that the whole family wants and needs in the home. Do you think it could take that effect, where you could start branching it into the actual entertainment? Now you got your Facebook feed in the corner. Now you've got whatever movie things going on extended into the HoloLens.
Oh, I was talking about VR, not the HoloLens.
Oh, I gotcha.
HoloLens has applications well beyond gaming. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's when you get into the actual in-depth VR. I'd still watch a movie in VR. Fuck it.
Yeah, well, because even in VR, because if you're watching a movie in VR, you can't. It's really just a screen right in front of your face because you're not controlling the camera motion or anything like that.
Nah, true.
So I don't think it has much beyond gaming.
I mean, the way they take lots and lots of shake and variance out of the camera lens is to take a much larger shot and then scale it down so that you can affect what it looks like.
Yeah, I think it could be done, but you're talking about movies have to be shot in a very specific way, and that will not happen.
We're probably not even going to get good 4K stuff.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Moving on.
All right, so Zinnia, you going with Mass Effect, or do you have a?
Yeah, I guess so. To be honest, I've been doing so many other things that I couldn't really come up with anything in particular that nobody else has pulled up on the internet and in a blog or what you guys have said. So, out of sheer curiosity, I brought up Mass Effect, and I'll stick with that.
Okay. Do you think they're going to have gameplay footage or just like a trailer?
I didn't do enough research into what else they have to fall back on as a brand, but I think if they're going to put it out there, it's going to be more than the teaser this time, so we should get a nice chunk. I mean, they already gave us that tiny little bit of a teaser, so what would be the point of leaking us just some BS this time around?
Yeah, so you think just like a full-on announcement?
Yeah, it might as well be at this point.
Yeah, it might be along the lines of like what they did with like Crackdown and Phantom Dust last year, where it's where it's like all CGI stuff.
Yeah, that's the route I think they would do. I don't think that game's anywhere near being done, so I doubt we'll get any gameplay. But
Yeah.
a CGI or a live action trailer or something to build hype more than we got last year.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we seem to have lost Nick, but I'll go with mine. And I'm going to go a little out of left field here, and it's going to be non-gaming related.
Okay.
And my prediction is that we're going to see at least 3 wardrobe changes from Phil Spencer during the Xbox.
Wait, has that ever happened?
Oh, he's constantly changing his T-shirts to to go with whatever indie game he's pimping at the moment there. So
during the press conference?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So 3 wardrobe changes in one day, yeah.
During the hour and a half Xbox broadcast, he's going to be pimping 3 different shirts at least.
Is this a plus minus from past performance, or is this just out of the blue?
Just a random number.
Gotcha. I mean, I've heard the jokes before, but I haven't seen it myself, so it should be interesting.
I've never noticed that he went through wardrobe changes. That's very interesting.
Yeah, so, well, we'll see what happens. I'm trying to mix things up a little bit here, so
all right.
We shall see what happens. So we'll be back. We'll bring this back next week with everyone bring a few more predictions, and we'll kind of see. We'll tally them all up, and we'll see who's ultimately the smartest,
the most clairvoyant.
All right. Well, let's move on to some news here, and let's start off with the big ones. Mainly, well, we all know that Treyarch is making the next Call of Duty. That's no secret. Been a lot of speculation over the last week of whether it's going to be Black Ops 3 or World War 2. There's a game update to Black Ops 2, which puts some little Snapchat images in the game, and people were starting to guess and all that. And Treyarch finally came out today and said that it's going to be Black Ops 3, and there's going to be an official announcement a little later on in the month on the 26th.
Yeah, I don't think that's really a shocker. That's what everyone was expecting.
Not true enough. But I think this is definitely a big thing for Call of Duty, because Treyarch definitely carries a lot of weight in the Call of Duty community. And with the way that Infinity Ward bundled up Ghosts there, you got to think that Treyarch is definitely the favorite child now when it comes to Call of Duty games. So.
It's the direction that I think will be interesting. I mean, the way the terms I've heard them use was like dark and twisted future type thing. So for the people who had trouble adjusting to Advanced Warfare with the laser guns and the jetpacking and all the exosuiting rather and everything that goes on there, I have no clue what I'm in for.
It does look like the exosuits are coming back though.
Yeah, it seems to be the wave of the future, so to speak. I can't think of a first-person shooter I've picked up since Titanfall that doesn't have that.
Yeah, movement is definitely the trend this generation.
Yeah, making games more lateral.
Yeah, you mean vertical?
Vertical, yeah. It's always been lateral. I mean, back to Doom, it was only lateral.
Hey, rocket jumping? Come on. You didn't rocket jump?
So yes, the other way, vertical.
Yeah, I don't think these movement abilities are going to go away anytime soon. It's definitely a trend, and it's here to stay for a while.
Is it a good trend?
I don't know. I mean, it adds complexity to the gameplay. So if it's done right, I think it's good. If it's done just as something like tacked on, then I think it just adds noise.
That's a fair point.
It would have to be part of the actual strategic gameplay and the way they designed the world to work around. And it seems like it's heading in that direction. I mean, if you look at Titanfall maps, they've got all sorts of cool wall running spots and all sorts of little nooks and crannies where you can take advantage of the new mechanics. So if they keep catering to it, it should be a lot of fun.
Advanced Warfare was built that way too.
And then I played the new Battlefield, and I was trying to jetpack, and it doesn't work out for you very well. Although I pulled out the little zip line thing and jumped from like the roof all the way across the map, which fair enough, is cool.
Cool. No, yeah, I do like the new movement abilities. Like Titanfall, I think was really well implemented. Haven't played Advanced Warfare, obviously, but I do hear good things.
Can you imagine like sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Please.
I was just like how cool like a Dying Light first-person shooter would be, where you can just jump on anything and go anywhere. that would be a lot of fun, I think. You bring the parkour to a whole nother level for shooters.
Well, Titanfall did sort of go that way. Like, there was very little you couldn't get on unless it was just far too high. But if you had enough momentum, then you could pretty much go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So whether that's a trend or just here to stay, we'll have to see. But
in good doses, it's awesome. I mean, it takes the fight from being more of a Twitch event to more like a boxing match, who can duck and weave and who's timing themselves properly, as opposed to who just has that Twitch reflex to squeeze everything down all of a sudden. I like that element in games. That was one of the things I liked about the first Gears of War. If you were playing with shotguns, it was kind of like boxing. It was awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, let's move on quickly and touch on some Halo. So we talked about a week or so ago, Halo Online came to Russia, and some modders said, "No, we want this too." And Microsoft came in and said no, which I guess further just throws more fuel onto the fire of why this is even a thing, I guess. But
well, I mean, this wasn't developed by 343. It was some deal where some developer wanted to make the game, and they just had the licensing rights to do it in Russia. And from what I've read, it seems that market is very big over there. The free-to-play first-person shooter market. So, I mean, if that's the market where it makes sense to start with, then hey, go for it.
Is Russia big on Xbox? Do they have Xboxes?
I mean, they have them. I don't know how big they are, but so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I definitely don't support the modders doing that because they're pirating the game. So
True.
I mean, I think that because the game is supported by freemium, it's a freemium model where you can buy, it's supported by microtransactions in the game. But if they're modding it, that they're not doing that, so they're not supporting the game development. So it's not really, it's still pirating even though the game is free to play.
very true.
I mean, I think that the biggest thing that the Halo community can do is voice that it's wanted here, and hopefully they'll release it here. It's just
as it currently is, though, on the old Halo 3 engine, or should we demand more, I guess?
Well, I don't think you're going to get much out of demanding more. I mean, I think that if you have that base game, and then you're talking about just localization of bringing it to English, and with the United States and Canada, UK, or Europe legal support around it, then I mean that's very different than rebuilding the game in a different engine. So
True.
I think the community would be very happy with the game as it is, just localized.
Would they though? Is there anything to say that this game's very good?
No, I mean there isn't, because I mean I think that it is very loadout based, because you're buying, from what I read, it looks like it's loadout based, where you're buying weapons and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, it's not really Halo if you're starting the game with a loadout.
I think people just want it because we can't have it.
Yeah, I mean it's that, and it's Halo on PC. Halo on PC is very rare. Like PC gamers don't get Halo, and so when PC gamers are getting Halo in a different country, then I think that's when it's like salt on a wound.
Yeah.
The grass is always greener.
Yeah, I mean I don't think Microsoft's going to bring it to the PC at least before Halo 5 comes out, because that'll take away from what Halo 5 is going to want to do to try to bring people back to Halo. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Marketing play that didn't really cost them too much.
Yeah,
Get your tinfoil hats out.
Get the PC people itchy for Halo. How come I can't have it? How come I can't have it? How come I can't have it? Here's Halo 5.
That's sound logic. Sure. All right, well, we shall see. All right, well, let's quickly touch on some Destiny here. Update came out again today. Not too heavy in content as per usual, but we are getting some changes to the way ammo works in the Crucible. It's going to be less frequent and less of it. So there's that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they're really tweaking heavy. It seems like it's already pretty rare as it is. I mean, I understand the change to make it not drop. Like if you don't pick it up, it doesn't sit there on the ground waiting for you. That makes sense. I get that. But the other changes, I take them or leave them.
They're not changing heavy too much anymore. I thought it was just special
Yeah,
ammo.
special and primary ammo.
No, that was
Is that
heavy.
the way people drop it, or the way the boxes spawn?
Yeah, the special boxes will stop spawning as frequently as they do. I don't know what the timer is. I think it's just only like a couple minutes right now, but they're increasing the timer between spawns, and when you pick up it will yield less ammo for you.
Yeah.
Basically, the days of running around with a shotgun only.
Mm-hmm.
Felwinters, yes, best sniper in the game. Yeah, so basically that's going to be gone. At least they're trying to limit that, which is definitely a good thing, because there is definitely too many blinking shotguns out there.
Yeah.
I think the heavy's almost getting a bit of a buff, because they're going to make the pickup range longer or larger, so you don't have to be as close to it. And I think they're going to give you more time between when they announce it and when it actually appears.
Yeah, I saw they were giving you more time. I could have sworn I saw that they were that if you're not close enough to pick it up immediately, then it won't drop and wait for you on the ground. Like after death, like you won't be able to come back after 2 minutes after it spawned and pick it up after everybody used their heavy ammo.
I find that so rarely to myself anyway, but
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. They're not allowing they're going to make it despawn.
Yeah, here it is. So the main thing we wanted to prevent in terms of heavy ammo was players trying to buffer their supply by sitting within a range of a brick without picking it up. So this hurts your ability to anticipate when heavy ammo would be in play during a match, yada yada. So despawn conditions, where ensuring players will have to acquire ammo when it becomes available, or risk losing it together. So what that means is, like, because a lot of people are doing today, and myself included, like, you just get within range of somebody else picking it up, and the heavy thing just sits there waiting for you, and you can die as many times as you want, and then come back after everybody already used their heavy ammo, and then it's just shooting fish in a barrel, because you're running around with a rocket launcher and everybody is just using primary.
And that ammo is exclusive to you?
Yeah. So it's completely instanced to you.
Gotcha. Yeah, I could see that being unfair.
Yeah, so that's one thing that they're doing there. So you're not going to be able to do that if you're within range. You're going to pick it up right away, or it's going to despawn. So you're not going to be able to wait and come back to it.
It's one thing if it's a public instance and you're using it as like a hunting
Yeah.
technique. It's another thing if it's yours personally and you're just kind of leaving it there like the bank, wait until, like you said, everybody's out, and then you start coming out with rockets and crazy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of unfair. I could see why they played with that.
Yeah, so that change makes sense, and so that's going to be coming in.
I didn't realize it was exclusive to you. I assumed that anybody could grab it, so I always got my hands on it ASAP.
Well, what happens is if you're within range, then everyone in range gets their own instance of the heavy ammo.
Gotcha. Okay.
So many people were cursing you.
Yeah.
Why did you tell them that?
You definitely want to wait. So when you're playing Crucible, you definitely want to wait till your teammates are close, so they all get the heavy with you.
Yeah, you definitely made enemies tonight. Good luck. Might want to change that gamer tag a little bit. No, that's good to know.
I never really knew that it waited for you. Like I said, I've always been close enough to get it, or was out of range, so I never really saw it waiting for me.
Yeah, we'll wait.
No, I guess not anymore.
Yep, not anymore. Well, it's not out yet, so.
Okay, sure enough, yeah. So yeah, still no release dates for this new patch. You gotta think it's coming soon now, like probably in the next week. You gotta assume that. And I guess we gotta assume that some info for House of Wolves is coming soon too.
I hope so.
All right, so I looked at the Facebook chat that we have going. Nick wants some kind of claim on Star Wars Battlefront for E3.
Oh.
He hears it's happening. He wants dibs on it. Capital letters P-U-T, the word in.
Okay.
Alright.
That is his call, even though you said that he
It's happening.
lost him. But yeah, no, according to him, that's happening. That's what's going on. That is NastyDestoyer's call for E3.
All right.
There we go.
My bet is they'll have some game footage of it, and then a month later they're gonna delay it. Oh, it's kidding! It's coming out 2016.
Just kidding.
All right. Well, what's one more thing I want to quickly touch on Destiny? I guess two more things. One other thing they update, we get the option to wear our helmets in the tower.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Whatever. It's the only time we get to see our faces. Why would I want to hide that?
Oh, but maybe you got this sweet raid helmet that everyone else has. That.
Is it optional or it's forced?
Yeah,
It is optional. Yeah, you can opt in.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool there. Then you could pick it.
Yeah.
Everybody will be walking around with the same damn helmets.
So that was that. So I guess one last thing I want to touch on. We've got our first hardcore event for Clan Wars Destiny this week. So, Keith, why do you hate us?
Well, I mean, I think that it's interesting. I mean, hardcore events aren't going to be happening that often, but we're already seeing some people feel the pain, like because we added a new comment section to the events. I don't know if you guys have taken a look at it, but you can actually. There's a whole comment section for the event and clan, and people can talk to other clans and stuff like that. So I mean, I think that that's generated a pretty good response. I think there are 80 comments or something right now, and I've seen a couple people talk about negative scoring and because right now if you look at it, there are clans that are performing so poorly that they are negative as a whole. So clans that haven't even played are still at score of 0 and they're ranked above them. so I see some little sting in that respect that they would have done better if they just didn't play. But I mean, in all actuality, like when you get a negative score, it's really not that deep negative. I mean, because typically it's a percentage of your possible score, and if you went negative, then you probably had a low scoring game anyway, because that you didn't perform that well. So it's a percentage of a lower scoring game. So the next game when you perform well and you don't go negative, you're offsetting that negative by a very large margin. Does that make sense?
Mm.
So I mean, it doesn't take much to overcompensate for a negative game.
Well, that's important.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't want to get too deep in the hole.
yeah, I mean, you really shouldn't get too deep just playing it. I mean, first of all, if you play with at least 3 clan members, you'll never go negative. So, I mean, that's one key to success in that respect, is just play with clanmates, and you won't have that problem at all.
So as somebody with a very poor KD but a relatively good win-loss, would I be a detriment to my clan, or?
No, I don't think so. What do you consider a bad KD?
I normally rotate around 0.6, 0.7 in most games that I play, unless I really try hard.
Yeah, I mean, anything below a 1.0 is going to result in a negative 80%. So if you're constantly under 1.0, then yeah, you're going to be getting hit with that negative 80. But as long as you're not losing all those matches, you're not going to go negative just because you're going to have that extra.
So if I'm on a balanced team, then the fact that I'm bringing wins and doing what I have to do definitely plays its part. But as long as they're getting their KD positive, I'm not dragging them too far down.
Yeah, and also if you're playing with clan members, then because the 2 modifiers that are negative are both at negative 80%, so the most you could ever go negative is negative 60%. However, if every clan member that you're playing with is an additional 20%, so you play with 3 clan members, and that will offset your negative.
Gotcha. So they can carry me through the little bit of skill that I tend to lack, even though I play as a team and do what I gotta do.
Yeah, so I mean, if you play with 3 clan members, then you might get a 0 score, but you'll never go negative.
That seems fair.
So, I mean, I think that, and then, again, 4 or 5 clan members, you'll always be positive just because of that bonus. So it's not unfair. It's something where if you only play a handful of matches and those were poor performing matches, you might have a negative score. So you just gotta keep playing, and offset those negative matches and play with clanmates, and everything will be all right. And I think that we were expecting people to be complaining about it. I mean, it is a hardcore event. Oh, that's kind of the intention.
It's a hardcore event. It's meant to be hard.
It's meant to be a little sour. But
well, ultimately, what it is to promote teamwork and team play. That's really what it is. Because as long as you're playing with a group, you're not going to go negative. So as long as you're winning.
That particular fact does not scare me away, even though I'm not a very high KD player. I mean, when I'm sitting there and trying and know that I'm taking my time or camping or doing whatever it is I'm doing for KD, I get my numbers. But 9 times out of 10 when we're playing games, I'm more trying to take care of the situation and get my assists. So as long as I'm not dragging my team under, that's great.
This clan Void, I don't know if you've looked at the leaderboards, but they are rather insane. Like one guy on their team has played 74 matches since 6 a.m. Eastern this morning.
What?
74 matches. He's racked up 397,000 points.
What do you think the average match time is?
They clock it. They actually keep track of it and try to get it under 5 minutes.
Wow.
Because the guy that has the most points, he only has 68 matches in, but he has 676,000 points. His KD is 4.49.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really insane, like their clan, and they broadcast on stream and are on Twitch, and they're a very competitive clan, very competitive.
Glad to have them as part of the starting of the movement then.
Yeah,
we need people like that to push us further.
Yeah, they're definitely out there. They're constantly commenting on our Twitter and on now in the comment section. So they're very active in the Clan Wars community. Our clan, however, is not. We have not performed very well at all. So in the last event, we got 27th in our division. Only 7 clan members participated.
I wasn't one of them. I can't say anything.
So this event, it goes on till the 13th. Yeah, so really the 12th through Sunday. So get in there and contribute. It would definitely be very, very beneficial.
This is the call to arms, guys.
This is a call to arms.
Let's go, OG.
Yeah, we're ranked 19th. So we probably won't be able to get first, but I think that we can. I think we could rank top 5.
That's what we did in our first event. We were 3rd overall, weren't we? In the very first event.
I think so. Let me look. In the warm up.
Didn't we get a head start on that one?
Yeah, we got a head start on that one. So, there was a little bit of a head start, but we're ranked 19th. I definitely think we can get at least 5th because their 5th place is not that far ahead. So I think we can do it.
Okay.
All right. Well, guys, this is your weekend to play some Destiny.
Yeah, it's control. Get in there and play some control.
Cool. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps everything up on my list. You guys got anything you'd like to throw in here before we sign off for the week?
No, that's it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Alrighty. New website is coming soon. Sam's been working quite diligently on it, so we hope to have that, I think, in the next week or so, but don't quote me officially on that. But yeah, new website is coming. New and improved, and yeah, we're really looking forward to that. We'll let you know the new address when it goes live. Other than that, usual ways to get in touch with us: Facebook, Original Guardians; Twitter, @OGuardians; Google Plus is your thing. Just search Plus Original Guardians. Links in the show note, links are in the show notes for what we talked about tonight. Checking out the Bungie updates, the Black Ops 3 news, all that kind of fun stuff. Links are down in there, as well as links to the audio archive of all the past podcasts. And if you want to look at the video archive, just look us up on our YouTube page. Link is in the show notes as well below. And I think that'll do it for this week. We'll be back next week at 10:30 Eastern. Until then, you guys have a great week.
Awesome.
Yeah, everybody enjoy.
Later.